Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and we are still trying to work on our GitHub workflow for our application. And the previous video we were building things from scratch, just like the way we did in Jenkins, and we ran into errors with our CI workflow. We had so many errors, all pointing to the fact that it's an the image tag has an invalid reference format. So I literally took my time to look into it, and I think the issue has to do with the fact that this front end image name, the workflow is not recognizing it. Like it's not saying it, it's empty, as the case may be. Now, I just noticed this particular feature. This is the Copilot. This is GitHub Copilot, which you can actually just also use. So you click on explain error, and then you can use the AI to explain the error and see what um, the issue is. So it's saying that secret.docker username is likely empty or not set. So just like I said, it's not it's not saying the secret that I put, and I was able to get why that was occurring. So when I go to secrets and I go to actions, so it was an oversight from my end. There are different type of secrets. There's environment secret, there's repository secret, and there's organization secret. Now, environment secret is in a case where you have various environments. So you have the dev or the testing, and then the production. Like you have different environments, and you want them to have separate secrets per environment. So you put it in an environment, you specify the name of the environment, and then you put the secret there. But in this case, we don't have different environments. There's no environment at all. We're just trying to, write our CI workflow, which is not even being pushed to any environment. So I was supposed to put it in repository secrets, not environment secret. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I would change it. I'll put this secret in repository secrets. I would get rid of this ones, and then we'll try it again and see if it's going to work. Let me get my token. So now it's just asking you for the name and the secret, unlike the environment where it first asks you for the name of the environment. If you watched yesterday's video, you will see that it asks for the name of the environment first, then before it now goes ahead and tell me to put my secret. So I'll get my personal access token here, and I'll put that. I'll add it. Okay, so we have our Docker token, and we have, let me copy this also. We have our Docker user name. Let me see. Okay, I think this is correct. So I would go and delete this once. I'll delete this once. I should be able to delete it. Okay, so I'll delete this secret. I need to prompt me. So let me reach for my phone and 48. Okay, so this should be deleted, and then I'll also delete this second one. Okay, so let's go back to actions. So now we don't have any environment secret. We only have repository secret. So let's see if we can actually trigger it manually from here so that we don't have to push again. Let's see. Okay. So let me see if I can rerun job. Let me rerun failed jobs and see if that is going to work. Run jobs. So let's see. Okay. So now you can see that it's building the image now. So the error was I put the secret in environment secret instead of the repository secret. So our image has been successfully built. It has scanned the image and voila. So that was the issue. That was the error that we faced yesterday. Our secret was supposed to be put in repository secret instead of environmental secret. So we'll continue with that. So I think that is out of the way. So let's see what we've been able to achieve so far. So we've checked out the code. We've tested the back end. We've done a lead test on the back end. We've built both the front end and the back end image. So the next is to scan the image. So we are using Snyk to scan the image, and just like the way we did it, we just Snyk test, and no, this we'll use the same command. So I'll just copy this. Same container test, same container test, and this. Okay, and we'll do same thing with the backend. Same container test. Okay, so let's confirm. So now this is fine with the way it is, same container test and all of that. But remember that before we used Snyk, the same way we installed Python, we'll also install Node.js on our Ubuntu runner. Just the way we installed Python, we need to install Node.js. We need to also install pip, install Snyk and authenticate. So those are things that we need to do before this is actually going to work. So let's let's have another stage. Let's have another stage. Install. Okay. Install Snyk CLI. Let me let me accept it. Right. So install Snyk CLI will run npm install. Bef- Before that, we need to install Node.js name, install Node.js Okay, so it's just the same thing with the way we installed Python. So we're using version 20 because that's what we use on on our Ubuntu when we're trying to install Node.js on our Ubuntu. We installed version 20. So we're going to install Node.js, we're going to install Snyk CLI, and then we're going to authenticate. Remember, we have to authenticate. So we have one more, which is name authenticate sync. So I really like the way this is, you know, VS Code is just making things easier without me even having to type a lot of things. So authenticate is an issue, is a syntax, there's an issue with the indentation. Okay, good. So we install Node.js, we install Snyk CLI, we authenticate sync using our token before we scan the image. So these are the four things we are going to do. And now we need to go and create another secret called sync token. So it will be a repository secret, not an environmental secret, just like the other ones. So I would go, let's go to, let's go back to our settings, and then we want secrets and variables, actions. We want to add new repository secret. So let me go to let me open a new tab and let me go to sync.io. Let me go to my account and get my sync token. Okay, so I'll copy, I'll come back here, and then I'll add new secret. So what did we call the secrets? Sync token, sync token. Then I paste the secret here and I add it to. So now we have Docker token, we have Docker username, then we have sync token. So I'm going to copy this just like we have always been doing. I'll copy this and we need to push again. So okay, so echo. So what this means is that I'm echoing an empty space into our CI. So once I do that, the file becomes empty. I'm echoing an empty space into our ci.yaml file. So instead of me going there and then start trying to delete everything. So this is just like a fast way. Okay, so I'll vim. So now we have an empty file and I'll paste it here and let's check git status, git add, git commit, setup sync, Snyk, and git push. And get my token. Okay, so now let's go to our repository and confirm that this has actually been pushed. Okay, so it has been pushed and this action has been triggered. So it's setting up Snyk. It's going to go through all the stages and let's okay, so it's building the image. Then let's see if it installs. After this, it will install Node.js. Okay, it has installed Node.js. It has installed Snyk CLI. It's authenticating with Snyk. Good, your account has been authenticated. It's scanning the image. Okay, it has scanned the front end image. So it's currently scanning the back end image also. So awesome. So now it works seamlessly. So everything was working fine. It authenticated, it scanned the image, and this was even much faster than when we were using Jenkins. So I believe that after that, we have just one more stage, which is to push to the repository. So push to repository, you're going to have the same thing. So let's just tab to collect everything because this is exactly what we have here. So you can see it's basically what we have here. So um yeah, echo docker pass, standard outputs, standard inputs, and docker login. Okay, docker push. Awesome. So you can see that basically it's just like the same thing. So but this we use docker instead of docker password, we are using docker token. So we used token instead of password. So let's echo docker token which we are going to use to authenticate. Let's confirm that we have docker username. Good. So let me copy this and we'll echo an empty space into the workflow. Do we need to install anything? No, we don't need to install anything. I think this takes care of it. We're not installed. We already have Docker installed. So all we need to do is just do Docker push. Good. So I'm going to let me do status. Let me add commit Docker push image push to repository. Good. So I'll do this again and I'll come to copy this. Okay, then we'll come back to our repository. Okay, so we have it there, image push to repository. Let's all the other stages are working fine. So it's just the last stage that we are looking out for. So you can see this is relatively much more easier to set up than even the Jenkins. You can use Jenkins, you can use GitHub Actions and other CI tools or CI/CD tools. You can see that the commands are basically almost the same, like they are very, very identical. So it's not there's no big deal. It's not as if you want to learn another tool and learn it from scratch. Once you're able to learn one tool, you can just transfer that knowledge. The concept, like I said, the concept is always the same. The concept is always the same. Um, The only thing might just be maybe a little syntax, the way it's being written and all of that. So there was an error. Access token has insufficient scopes. Okay, access token has insufficient scope. So there's probably an issue with the token. It can only, oh, I see. I think the token that I generated can only read. It can only read. Let me confirm that. It's a read only token. Okay. Let me use another token. Let me use another token. Let me generate. Let me delete this token. Mm, Deactivate. You delete it. Delete token. So let's generate a new token. Expiry days 30 days. So we want to read and write. We're not deleting. We want to read and write. So let's generate. Let's copy it. And let me go back here and edit. So I'm going to change the token and retry it. Docker token. Let me edit. So I'll paste the new value and update secrets. Okay, that's been updated. We'll go to actions and I will rerun this job. I'll rerun the job. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, testing backend, setting up Docker build. Okay, image build. Okay, install Node.js, install Snyk CLI, authenticate, image scan. That's for the front end. So it's going to do for backend also. Okay, so push to registry and nice. So image push. That's the front end has been pushed. The back end is also being pushed. So the issue was the scope of the token we generated was just read only. So it can only read from the repository. It can't do anything. It can't push. So I had to generate another token that had a read and write scope. So we've basically been able to replicate exactly what we did with Jenkins. We've been able to replicate it with GitHub Actions. And so now I've basically shown you two CI tools. It is left for you to choose the one that you would actually want to go with. If you like Jenkins, you can go with Jenkins. If GitHub Action is your thing, you can actually go with GitHub Actions. Either way, the concept is the same, just maybe the way it is being written, the syntax, and then just a few differences, but everything still revolves around the same thing. So I believe we've been able to learn one or two things from today's video. If you've liked and enjoyed my video so far, please ensure that you like the videos, not just liking the videos, you also subscribe, and most importantly, you turn on your notification bell so that when I post more videos, you can get them immediately they are being posted. And if you know anyone who will be interested in such videos, you can always share the content, to them so they can also watch and then gain one or two things. If you have any challenges so far, please feel free to always leave a comment. I'll be in the comment section to answer any questions that you might have regarding what we have done so far. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.